did I basically start crying on the meeting with my new manager today? Yeah. Basically, she was like, I've seen you on calls. Like, you just seem like you're unhappy. I'm very burnt out with the job. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, was that easy to read? She's like, I would love to see you smile on a call. I'm like, yeah, I don't do that anymore. These meetings are draining. This job is draining. But she was very kind.
You're not lazy, you're not unmotivated, you're burnt out. And it's bleeding into every part of your life. From insomnia to emotional numbness, these stories expose just how invincible burnout can be. Watch closely. You might relate to some of these clips.
Okay, I'm going to go on a rant for a second, so please bear with me. I am 28 years old and I've only been working in corporate America for, let's just say, like 5.5 years. Graduated college in 2019, got my first corporate job at the age of 22. A couple months later, turned 23. So yes, about 5.5 years. And the thought of doing this, like working in corporate America for what feels like the rest of my life, because I just don't understand or see how retiring is even a possibility at this point, pains me. It pains me. I just don't belong in corporate America. I feel it in my freaking soul. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Corporate America is not for Julia Reiner. It's not for freaking half the population at this point, because we're all freaking miserable and we're all underpaid. We work way too many hours and we don't get paid enough. Overworked, underpaid. There it is. That's what I feel like right now. And the fact that it has only been 5.5 years in corporate America is just, oh God, it is painful to even think about. Also, side note, look at my rings. They're so cute. I know that this is not what I am supposed to be doing for the rest of my life. It does not feel right. Oh my God, like the fact that I work 40 hours, sometimes more a week, and I don't even have enough money to like contribute to my savings. That's mind-boggling to me. That is so incredibly mind-boggling to me. The fact that my student loans are $500 a month and I have to potentially start paying my federal loan soon, screwed. I'm literally screwed. I don't understand how I'm supposed to do that. The fact that I am working, I'm overworked, underpaid. I can't put money into my savings. I can't, like, oh my God. God forbid I had to get a freaking college degree. Why did I do that? Student loans are ridiculous. I'm trying not to stress. Is this what crashing out is? I think that's what's happening. I just want to frolic through the fields, create silly little content, and not work a day in corporate America ever in my life. How do I do that?
Is anybody else having the troubles that we are with getting these millennial 20 to 33-year-old professionals to work a full day with urgency?
It's the lack of wages. People aren't being paid enough in 2025. And this criticism isn't towards this creator directly. I'm just speaking general in corporations. Nobody should be making less than $20 an hour in 2025. Even a 19-year-old should be making $20 an hour at whatever job they're working if they want a shot at qualifying for apartment with a roommate. And for these corporations that are requiring bachelor's and master's degrees, where someone has to go to school for 6 years, get $100,000 in debt, and have an $800 a month payment for 20 years to get that job, and you're going to start them off at $25 or $27 an hour, bare minimum $40, if not $50 an hour. And now businesses are going to say, well, we can't afford that. That's not our fault. It is not our fault that apartments are $2,200, that houses are $400.
I actually want to double down on calling people out who are burned out. So if you've done any of these things in the past month, consider yourself burned out. If you have cried in the office at work or while working, if you have had nightmares about work, if you have had to catch up on work after work and over the weekends, if getting sick or getting in a minor accident sounds like a vacation to you. Burnout exhausts you and then it costs you. So I'm describing what some of the exhaustion can look and feel like, but it will cost you if this burnout persists. It will cost you your health, your relationships, your lifestyle, your quality of life, your personal interests, your identity. All of these things come together to create a full life for you. And a lot of times when people experience burnout, they end up with a full resume and an empty life. Burnout is waking up with racing thoughts about all the things you have to do that day. It's going to sleep dreading all the things you have to do tomorrow. It's getting stuck in transitions throughout the day, like when you're in your car before you go into the house, or when you step into the shower and you just feel like, I don't know if I should spend this time screaming or zoning out completely. It's feeling so guilty when you rest when you still have things to do. It's getting angry when somebody asks if you're free to do something when you feel like it should be obvious, like, I am so busy, why would you even ask and put me in a position where now I have to say no? Or worse, you say yes. And another sign of burnout is that you resent these relationships that are asking things of you because you don't have much to give. It's living in this kind of survival mode for an extended period of time. Burnout is not just stress, it's what that stress costs you.
That employee that clocks in, does their job, and goes home was once the employee that went above and beyond, okay? And eventually somebody burnt them out, or eventually someone showed them that it's not worth it, okay? Because they work super hard, they pick up shifts, they do overtime, they're doing projects or training or additional assignments, whatever. They're doing all these things, and they're not being recognized or appreciated. And eventually they said, okay, I see how this is going to be. I'm just going to do my job then. I'm going to fall in line and do what everybody else is doing, the bare minimum. And that's where they end up. And honestly, this is a failure from the company. The company is not recognizing, promoting, giving raises or appreciation to these employees. And they're saying, okay, I'm just going to sit back and do what I was hired to do. And then later get upset that these employees are not going above and beyond and doing additional responsibilities because look what has happened. It's not worth it to them. For what? They're not getting more pay. They could at least get some recognition in another way, maybe a good review, and they're not even getting the basic things. So they eventually just fall back into this, I'm going to do my job, clock out, go home, and not stress about this job.
You will get burnt out. Your mind, like your body, can become overworked to the point of exhaustion. For many people, this happens in college or their first stressful job. In order to prevent and reduce burnout, you need to let your mind rest. Just because you aren't working doesn't mean you're resting. Scrolling through Instagram or TikTok, watching Netflix, playing video games, these are often described as an escape from reality. And while I'm not saying these things are inherently bad, they do nothing in the way of actually reducing burnout. Your capacity to do work is kind of like the battery on your phone. The more tasks you do simultaneously or the harder tasks you do, the quicker you'll drain your battery. This is burnout. Turning your brain off by doing one of the activities I mentioned is no different from turning your phone off and expecting it to recharge. Instead, you need to allow your brain to consciously or unconsciously process the things it needs to increase your capacity for work. After that YouTube binge or video game session, does the thought of going back to work seem easier or harder? If it's harder, your favorite pastime is you procrastinating, not relaxing. And
I was just having a conversation with a friend and we were talking about how everyone just feels so exhausted right now. And when I say exhausted, I mean exhausted with everything. People are exhausted with work. People are exhausted with corporate America. People are exhausted with this administration. People are exhausted with the systems that have been put in place. People are opting out of the systems. People are choosing to move abroad. People are choosing to quit their jobs and to do their own thing. And I don't blame people. It just feels like there has just been a black cloud that has been looming over everyone and over this entire world. And I think we as a people, because I know I feel it, everyone is just experiencing burnout at a quicker rate. Honestly, I don't think life is supposed to be this way. I don't think we're supposed to be experiencing this much exhaustion.
People think, oh, these kids are so burned out, they're just lazy. It's like, no, they're working 40 hours a week, but at the end of the month, they have nothing to show for it. So if you're not making any progress and you look back 5 years and go, damn, I made $300,000 in the last 5 years, or I made $400,000 in the last 5 years, and I have nothing. If anything, I have $25,000 in debt. That's going to create burnout because you feel like you just put in 5 years of work and have nothing to show for it. And we still have people blaming them that, well, the reason you're broke is because of the coffee. It's like, no, it's the 25% inflation that we've faced that just destroyed people's spending power. It's the 30% increase in rent prices where people are spending 40% of their money on rent. You're still being taxed 20, 25, 30%. People just don't have any money. People aren't having kids. They're not being able to start families. People are struggling financially, fighting financially. Relationships are suffering. This is all decline in living standards. You realize millennials with degrees are living with roommates into their 30s, not having kids? How do you have a Thanksgiving in a 900 square foot apartment? How do you have a dog and go play in the backyard and make memories with your kids? I was living in an apartment complex just 2.5 years ago. Tons of kids. They may do, but they're all playing on the cement floors in the hallway because they don't have a yard, because houses are $400,000. Humans are good at adapting, but there's a fine line between adapting and being taken advantage of, and I think we're being taken advantage of.
You want to know why people are burnt out? I could tell you. It's a little bit of what you already know and don't want to talk about, and a little bit of stuff you might not know that I'm more than happy to tell you about. So the part we're kind of done with talking about is how, let's say like the last 7 years, it's probably been more, but let's just say the last 7 years have been full of chaos and exploitation and mental exhaustion because you saw structures that were supposed to support you not support you. Most people are done talking about COVID, acknowledging the current existence of COVID, how it was a ridiculous collective trauma we all had to navigate, how when we were stuck inside, we had to do some shadow work that we didn't want to deal with, and how ready we were to kind of get back to normal status quo, and then having to work the same way we used to work pre-pandemic now. Most people hadn't even addressed like how problematic like the girl boss gaslight rise and grind era was, which happened right before the pandemic started. Then we had to adjust the way that we like worked. And now we're in a place where like our jobs are slapping status quo back on things, and we're not ready to do that because that's ridiculous. And we so badly wanted to go back to normal. We wanted to go hang out with friends and eat and drink and do all those things, right? And people did go outside and they tried those things, and then it didn't work. And so when we do our go-to things over and over and over and they don't feel good like they used to, we go, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. Why is this not working, right? Because we live in an individualistic society where we've decided that if we don't do something right, something is wrong with us. I think we have to normalize a few things. Number one, I think collectively, a lot of people have underestimated the impact of like how big and stressful everything that we've gone through is. And number two, we need more than our go-tos. Like our go-tos are good, but when it starts to get a little stale and a little old, we need more things to work so that we can feel better. And by the time people realize that they're burnt out, like you don't really have the energy to like try new things or expand your resources. It's definitely more nuanced than this, and I could talk about this for a long period of time, but that's just the quick and dirty of it.
Well, I'm burnt out. I find myself on the verge of crashing out. And mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted. I find myself in survival mode yet again. Survival mode is what I am trying to get out of. But I keep finding myself here yet again. Deep in my soul, I am tired. I want to disconnect from everyone and everything. I want to go up under a rock. I want to retreat. I want to isolate. I just want to be by myself. But I feel as though that I can't. Well, it's not that I can't. I just will not give myself permission to do so. Because there is just so much that I have to do. I have to be a mom. I have to work. I have to pay bills. I have to work on this new business. I have to show up. I don't feel like showing up. I don't want to. But yet, here I am. All I want to do is create in peace and in quiet. I want to paint. I want to listen to music. I want to watch anime. Fuji! My dog. Anyways. I want to write poetry. I want to go off in the woods. I want to hike. I just want peace and quiet. That's it. And that's all. I have lost myself yet again. every time I find myself, I tell myself, now that you found yourself, don't lose yourself again. And here I am again, lost in the sauce. Lost in the motherfucking sauce. Where am I at? I don't know. Whew. My ego, my flesh, the part of me that wants to survive, it will not allow me to take a break. It won't allow me to have space. It won't allow me to give me that time that I need. But then my soul, my spirit was like, hey, it's okay. My spirit is just so gentle with myself. She knows exactly what I need. She's telling me you need to take a break. You need to do something that's going to nurture your spirit, nurture your soul. You need to do something that's going to make you feel good, something that's going to make you feel alive again. Which is really what I want to go do, is paint. That's really what I want to do. But the survival part of me is like, girl, you got homework to do. You want to go paint, you want to go color, but you got homework that you need to do. This is so hard. The more I talk, the more it becomes clear to me what I have to do, what I need to do. But I just cannot give myself permission. And it sucks. Yeah, whenever I figure it out, I'll come and let y'all know. But drop something down in the comments. Let me know how you guys deal with burnout. When you find yourself burnt out, exhausted, overwhelmed, when you find yourself about to crash out, what do you do?
If you burned out, let me tell you 5 things that you need to do to get yourself back on track. And no, I ain't trying to sell you nothing. The first thing is stop talking so bad about yourself. You see, when you burned out, it means that there's an imbalance. It means that you have been put in situations that do not support who you are. And instead of actually looking at the situation, you point the blame back on you. You talk about your neighborhood. You talk about your circumstances. You talk about your finances. You talk about how you would be a much better person if you just had X, Y, and Z. When you do that, you neglect to see the value in what's right in front of you. Stop talking bad about yourself. Number 2, you need to rest. And when I say rest, I'm not simply talking about going and take a nap, because a nap has never liberated anyone. But what I'm saying is you need to figure out how to slow down. You don't have to rush to everything, because if you know one thing about manifestation, about changing your life, you know that the bag chases you. You don't chase the bag. So you just need to sit, find your value. Remember point 1, and allow all things to come to you. Rest. Number 3, you're going to create, okay? A lot of us are out of practice with creation. We're producing things. We're producing things for others. We're producing outcomes. We're producing kids. We're producing, but we need to create. And in order to create, you have to practice. What happened to that hobby? Huh, sis? What happened to the fact that you used to knit, you used to write, you used to read, you used to speak? Use that mouth. Create. Use that mouth sounds crazy, but you know what I mean. Number 4, forgive. Oh, this the one, baby. You need to forgive. And the forgiveness is not for the other person. And forgiveness does not mean that they get a spot in your life. It simply means that you say that you are no longer taking up space in my emotional capacity because it's too expensive for me right now. I need all of my funds, all of my rejuvenation to focus on me. So I'm going to forgive you, release you. And if you want to let them back in, do it. But be very careful of what strays you let in on your doorstep. Number 5, and most importantly, be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with those around you, and allow yourself to go through every single emotion, every single one, whether it's grief, whether it's joy. Allow yourself to feel. I love y'all. Bye.
If you have been telling people that you are burnt out and the responses you're getting back are just sleep more, relax more, and that is frustrating because it's not working for you, I want to introduce you to a strategy that you can use that's actually going to help you overcome burnout. This is called the 5-minute technique. It is something that I use with my clients who are really in that early recovery stage of burnout where they are exhausted, they do not feel like they have the energy to do anything, they might have migraines, they might not really feel like leaving the house. The first thing that we do is we start envisioning what their day-to-day would look like if they were recovered from burnout. What would their morning look like? What would their workday look like? What would they be doing after work? What would they be doing on weekends? We get really crystal clear about an ideal vision of the days that they want to have once they've overcome burnout. Next, we pick one activity from that ideal day. That could be getting back to their email inboxes. That could be grocery shopping. It could be time with their dog. Whatever it is, we're picking one activity and we're going to do it for 5 minutes. Now, I know when you are feeling burnt out like this, doing anything for 5 minutes can feel like an uphill battle and you do not feel like you have the energy to do it. And however, the thing that gets you out of burnout is the repeated action over and over and over of the same tasks and proving to yourself that you can do it. That repetition builds the confidence that you need and the resilience you need to start feeling better. Why we only do it for 5 minutes is because I want you to use this idea of stop while you're ahead. I promise you that you can sit and look at your email inbox for 5 minutes even if you don't respond to anything. You can walk into the grocery store for 5 minutes even if you don't buy anything, and you can start cooking something for 5 minutes even if you don't complete the meal. I'm not trying to get you to the end line. I'm trying to prove that you can start and you can sustain for 5 minutes. What you're gonna notice in time is that you're then building up the confidence to keep going. Then we go to 6 minutes, then we go to 7 minutes, then we're doing 2 tasks on the same day. That repetition and the confidence and resilience you build up is what's going to actually pull you out of this.
Burnout doesn't always look like collapsing. Sometimes it's smiling through the pain. If you saw yourself in this video, it's not too late to heal and take back control of your life.